Hello, welcome to this your channel of the better Eurofan, that's me. They were having many editions without qualifying to the grand final until the miracle happened last year. The intense and magnificent performance brought to us by Dons during last year's contest achieved to break the backstreet for Latvia, being a finalist once again and reaching the 16th place in the final ranking. Despite not having it easy, they have been patient and loyal to the Eurovision appointment. But now the challenge will be kept a similar or better result, which allows them to get their second victory soon. We will see now who will be the artist that will be taking the baton from him by representing the Baltic country on the main stage of Basel. Let's go! For today's episode, I'm going to review the Latvian entry for Eurovision 2025, which will be represented by the group Tautumeitas with the song Bur Man Laimi, which in English translates as Bring Me Happiness. And just like they are demanding happiness, they will be in charge as well to spread happiness to the rest of Europe and the world with their voices and their music. Having said that, let's move on with the review. As usual, we will start taking a little more look to the biography and career of them before waving the Latvian colors in the Alpine country. Tautumeitas is a Latvian folk music group coming from the country's capital Riga, whose name means what they are, 6 folk women. While they have had many members since their beginnings, currently is formed by vocalist and violinist Astane Rankane, vocalist and drummer Aurelija Rankane, vocalist and percussionist Anna Maria Moiseja, vocalist, percussionist and violinist Laura Licite, vocalist Gabriela Svaxinite, and vocalist, mandolinist and clarinetist Gates Lishani. They began their musical career around 2015 when Asnate had the idea of reuniting many vocalists and multi-instrumentalists to reinterpret the melodies and lyrics from folk music by combining them with contemporary sounds. Together with the Latvian group Auli, they released a joint album in 2017 with songs dedicated to engagements and weddings, which have had quite noticeable success both in their native country and in some European countries. Then they released a eponymous debut studio album in 2018 with own compositions of the ensemble, followed by their second studio album the following year, starting to get noticed into the Latvian musical scene. A couple of years later, in 2021, they will be featured in a collaboration with the renowned Latvian group Brainstorm, who were the very first Latvian representatives of Eurovision when the country debuted in 2000, with the song Turkur Dieva Kamanash Lead, who will be part of the 17th studio album of the band. And later they will release their first studio album in 2022, being their most recent musical production to date, which was widely promoted, but with a tour by their native country and with their participation in several renowned musical festivals throughout the European continent. Artistically speaking, they combine intricate melodies with pretty amazing vocal arrangements that, together with their performances based on traditional rituals with quite remarkable visual identity that reinforces both female charm and empowerment, makes them particularly very distinctive in their style, with which they intend to be a link between tradition and modernity, and convey a musical experience like no other wherever they are. While they were already having a very consolidated position as one of the biggest exponents of folk music in their country, they have surely thought about going further and get to know themselves to a wider audience. Then it comes now the idea of attempting to represent their country at Eurovision. Let's see then how the Eurovision adventure begins for them. Keeping the usual strategy, the Latvian public broadcaster will organize once again their national final Supernova, which arrived to its 10th edition to pick the Latvian representative that will travel to Switzerland. The submission period will be open in mid-August of last year for the Latvian artists and songwriters who were interested in sending their proposals, closing it by last mid-October. After the deadline, it was known that a total of 96 proposals were received, representing a slight decrease compared to the last edition. In addition to this open call, a songwriting camp was held in the Latvian capital in late August, with the idea of creating possible entries to be sent to the competition, although it was not known if any of the songs composed in that camp were eventually selected. The received proposals will be reviewed by an expert panel composed of music and television professionals, both local and international, which will select 21 that will participate in the national final. The announcement of the contestants will be made in last mid-November of last year, being the girls of Tautumeitas among the chosen ones, and also featuring two former Latvian representatives that reprised their participation. The singer Jazz, who represented the Baltic country in 2016 during the edition held in Stockholm, Sweden, and the group Citizen, who made it as well in 2022 during the edition held in Turin, Italy. About the format, it will remain pretty similar without significant changes, although one of the contestants, the singer Greta Garantina, ended up withdrawing from the competition due to health issues, so the number of contestants was reduced to 19. Tautumeitas will appear for the first time in the semi-final, becoming one of the 10 artists that will qualify to the final show. Thereafter, during that final show, which took place in early last February, after the performances of all the finalists, the final result pursued a three-way tie in the first place between Tautumeitas, the singer Emilia, and the guys from Citizen, after scoring the same amount of points with the reveal of the votes from the public and the jury. But in the case of Tautumeitas, after receiving the highest points from the public among the three, they will be declared the winners of the competition, gaining subsequently the ticket to represent Latvia on the main stage of Basel. A chant to happiness with a lot of mysticism. Now we will discover a little more about this unique proposal that they will perform soon in Switzerland. Following their unique and own style, the melody is a folk world music track, which has this strong point both in its rich instrumentation with a variety of musical instruments and with their elaborated vocal harmonies. In fact, the conjunction of all their voices creates a sound atmosphere that gives that magic and special character to the song, which is very typical of these female choral groups that perform traditional folk melodies. The lyrics have been written fully in Latvian by almost all the members of the ensemble, being the first time in more than 20 years that the country sends an entry in their native language. It is true that there was some link to Latvian 2 years ago, with the proposal presented by the guys of Southern Lights, but unlike this one, it was only limited to a couple of phrases at the end of the song. The context behind it is quite simple, reflecting a Pacific and ecologist topic intended to reunite to nature. This is evident after reading the lyrics in detail, previously translated, of course, standing out while they sing the verse. People build copper bridges while I have an oak tree grow. The copper bridge gets rusted while the oak tree will be always green. In this sense, the track looks to raise awareness about the relationship we have with our natural environment, which is getting much more affected by the excessive industrialization and the waste of the natural resources. There is no doubt in this case that the message intention transmit is that we are still in time to care and preserve the planet where we live, not only for ourselves but also for the future generations. Having known the context behind the track, and now we will see how they have portrayed it through the official music video. The plot begins by seeing all of them in a forest next to an oak tree while the song intro is heard. That oak tree is particularly sparkling, and in some moment they go inside the opening at the bottom of that tree. With the initial chorus, there are alternations of all of them doing dance moves while wearing white traditional outfits with blue semi-transparent tulle capes. And then during the verse, it is seen that the opening in the oak tree leads to another dimension in the forest, wearing the same white traditional outfits from before with different facial accessories while they all sing from one of the branches of the oak tree. By the chorus, the alternations of them are seen again while still performing the dance moves, this time without the blue tulle capes. And shortly after, in the reprise of the verse, there are other shots of them keeping the performance in the middle of the forest. During the bridge, they are all collecting light beams spread by the forest, playing with those light beams with their hands during the reprise of the chorus, like they were fairies doing a magical ritual with them. In the final chorus, when one of the women sings the operatic part of the track, a light arc starts to shape around the oak tree, within in this case after joining out the light beam scene from before, while all of them are still dancing around the oak tree. Then towards the end of the music video, they are seen going out from the parallel dimension by the opening of the oak tree to return once again to the forest, closing the performance with one of the women looking to one of the light beams taken from the parallel dimension. With the mystic and fanciful concept seen in the music video, it was expected that they would look to portray that same atmosphere for the proposed song to be presented in the national final. Let's see then how was their live performance during their participation at Supernova. Recalling the staging in the national final, the first thing you see are a series of curtains of fringes among them, seen initially in a dark and light effect with lighting in blue tones. Tower projections of rain in the curtains of fringes, creating an interesting effect, looking like they are singing in the rain while they perform a traditional dance choreography throughout the initial chorus. Just before the verses, they get dark momentarily by only remaining the projections of the curtains of fringes until they disappear, and then the dynamic changes by using a warmer lighting, being able to see them more clearly as well by appearing among the curtains of fringes to get to the front of the stage. Particularly, all of them are wearing outfits with headdresses which made them look like they were fairies, matching precisely with the context transmitted with the track. The dynamic of the performance remains similar both in the chorus and the reprise of the verse, standing out in particular that before reaching to the bridge, all of them join in the center of the stage while they are focused by a big spotlight, giving a sort of ethereal performance. For the bridge, all the women leave, just being as snatched in close-up, remarking a specific moment in which the hands of them appear from behind the curtains of fringes like trying to reach her, while the lighting becomes blue again. In the reprise of the chorus, they approach again to the front of the stage to continue with the traditional dance choreographies with diverse and variable lighting. Shortly after, they stand in line to perform diversity on synchronized moves, which stand out especially when Ana Maria sings the operatic part, which is kept until the end of the performance. I have to say that the performance has been quite fascinating and interesting, which keeps you attentive all the time, and it has that same feel and that full character typical of these entries, in addition to the fact that they performed the song very well. It seems that the curtains of fringes are trending in these proposals that are more autochthonous and traditional, and I say it because it has reminded me to Blanca Paloma, who also made use of curtains of fringes for her staging 2 years ago when she presented her proposal for Spain in Liverpool, United Kingdom. This proposal seemed quite well appreciated by the public, who both of them, who helped them eventually to solve the triple weight tie and get the victory in the national final. Making a summary of all the comments, the Latvian entry for this year is unique and enigmatic. It is the most traditional and autochthonous proposal of the edition so far, being the first time that Latvia is presenting an entry like this one in the contest, although it is also true that they are not the first ones on experimenting with these folk-oriented musical genres. Estonia done it with the group Neikoso in 2004 during the edition held in Istanbul, Turkey, and Poland did it as well with the group Tulia in 2019 during the edition held in Tel Aviv, Israel. However, both entries had in common that did not qualify to the grand final, so there is the uncertainty that they could face the same fate. Thus, the impact they could give among the audience will be the key to make the difference. Personally, it's not a song that we will listen regularly, although I fully value the artistic and musical richness it has, which I find very interesting. For the staging in Basel, I guess that they will keep it exactly the same like at the national final, making some adaptations in this case to the shape of the stage. It was known that they have got funds to promote the entry through Euro, so surely we will see them performing the proposal live in the many Eurovision pre-parties of the season. In the meanwhile, it will be a matter of time until we'll see them getting on the stage to present their distinctive proposal to the rest of Europe. This has been the Latvia proposal of this year for the contest. Now tell me, what opinion deserves for you about this proposal? Do you think it is going to stand out, or do you think it will have difficulties instead? Let me know in the comments down below, thus we can keep the discussion. And this is it for today's episode. Before I finish, I invite you to like this video if it has been of your taste. With this, you can help this channel to grow with your support and keep reaching to more people. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not done it yet, enable notifications by the bell, and follow me through my social media. Take care and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.